get rid of mail-in voting because it's corrupt, and I've never had the satisfaction of employing that type of strategy. The Democratic Party, they are very corrupt themselves, and this is the only way that they can win. So I am going to, as I speak, I'm exercising my authority as the President of the United States to create an executive order dismantling this fiendish program. Forget about these senior citizens and those in the rural counties. I guess they can just walk there and place their ballot the legitimate way. Well, of course, I added that last maybe 20 seconds in there, but that's what's going to happen. I said that's what's going to happen. Why on earth? Did you guys know that this is Donald Trump's this is his 7th month. Let's look at this thing. Let's look at this. January. Well, people, he done it again. Yeah. The one who's trying to be Napoleon Bonaparte, the Julius Caesar of our day in these United States. I tell you, is it that he went to Britain or France, other continents and regions of the world, since he dipped his toes in the political sphere, that he's come to America with a resounding yet disappointing view of how we should vote? Yes, Mr. President claims mail-in ballots are corrupt. I'm sure a lot of you guys are saying, we know that Donald Trump has got to know a little bit about corruption. After all, he is a businessman with a lot of history of bankruptcies. Does that qualify him for corruption? This makes no sense to me. And I'm sure you guys are wondering, why am I speaking in my English accent? Well, it's been a while, my chaps. This president is off the rails. And I say it's high time that we had a type of British-type meeting dealing with him. Well, you know, I had to brush up this morning, so I went to British Parliament to see how they do it.
Mr. Speaker, he's talking about what he achieved. We just heard that inflation is up again, the worst in the G7. We left him with 2% inflation. We have a borrowing up, unemployment up, taxes are up under his government. The fact is the Prime Minister doesn't get it, so let me tell him. His budget last year had high taxes. That's why the economy is contracting. But Mr. Speaker, the government has said that they won't put up taxes for people on modest incomes. But they also seem incapable of explaining who is in that category. So can the Prime Minister clear up the confusion and tell us what he thinks a modest income is? Right?
He's not going to tell you, just like he's not going to tell you. He's going to bring up every little Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck subject in relation to politics. And the main two things is he's avoiding right about now is the economy and that guy who was on that island, who they say unalived himself in a jail cell. Do you feel me this morning? Shakalaka boom boom boom. Yeah, I had to go Britain this morning because they go at it. I say they go at it. So let's listen to this guy named Donald J. Trump talking about claiming mail-in ballots are cut up.
Media media about doing away with mail-in ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you expand on that and how important?
Well, that's a very off topic, just really quickly. Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses it because of what's happened, massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change are the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections, we'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, but most people, many countries use paper ballots. It's the most secure form. So between paper ballots, very, very important, paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in voting, even Jimmy Carter with his commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected. Because with men and women's sports and with trans.
So you see, go off topic. Now, this how they do it in Britain when you just go off the rails. You can't stay in one subject because you got poor Mr. Z sitting here like, I thought we were supposed to be talking about the war and you're talking about mail-in ballots? My God, what is this? A third world country? I flew way over here. I don't have time to argue with JD and the Secretary of State. And you're talking about mail-in ballots? My God. I even wore a suit to the occasion. I put on a suit for you, Trump, and you're talking about mail-in ballots. Ooh. This is how it's done, Mr. Z. When you don't want to face a bad economy and other things, you go off topic. You make those the issues. You make the media chase those issues. Yeah, welcome to capitalism at its best, baby. But this is how they do it in Britain. When you go off topic, they allow you to have a seat. Check it out. Go sit down. Go sit down. Go sit down. And if you think that did Joe Biden behavior left when Joe Biden left the White House, watch this clip here.
My friend, and it's an honor to have him as my friend. Thank you very much. Very good. You look great with your tan. Where did you get that tan? I want to get a tan like that. President Stubb of Finland, and he's somebody that, where are we here? Huh? Where? Oh, you look better than I've ever seen you look. But you've done a great job, and we wanted to have you here because you're somebody that we all respect.
Did you see that? The man was sitting right in front of him. Watch this, watch this. Trump is here singing his praises about the tan, and the guy from Finland is right here. And he don't even know he's there. Watch it again.
Get a tan like that. President Stubb of Finland, and he's somebody that, where are we here? Huh? Where? Oh.
Which way did he go? Which way did he go? I think it's time to take your brother for a walk. milk and cookies. Time to go to bed. Now check this out. Let's get a little bit more serious here about this mail-in ballot stuff and the voting machine. Check it out.
Yesterday with some of our reporters and experts about an idea proffered by President Trump on Truth Social yesterday. He would like to do away with mail-in voting via executive order. Fox's Connor Hansen has a closer look. President Trump says he plans to do away with both mail-in voting and voting machines. His announcement didn't sit well with some state election officials who say it's not up to him.
I don't work for you, Donald Trump. I work for the people of the state of Arizona.
This is an attempted power grab by Donald Trump. He is attacking democracy, and we will not let him win. Mail ballots are secure. They cannot be hacked by foreign adversaries.
This week, President Trump said he is working on an executive order to make the changes. The Constitution allows states to decide how to run their elections, and only Congress can make changes to federal elections.
I'm sure there will be many discussions with our friends on Capitol Hill and also our friends in state legislatures across the country to ensure that we're protecting the integrity of the vote for the American people.
Mail-in voting is used by about 1/3 of all U.S. voters, and different forms of voting machines are used in almost all voting jurisdictions. President Trump suggested a more reliable alternative.
Paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results.
In June, a federal judge blocked an executive order requiring voters to prove they are U.S. citizens and to prevent states from...
People, let's look at it like this. It's a power grab. It's a power grab. He's setting the stage for the Antichrist. We will be part of the New World Order. We will be a part of it. And as we blend into it, it is to ensure that the Antichrist will never, ever be challenged. It's a power grab. And this is on a lot of areas, the power grab. 2 weeks ago, he fired, remember the lady who came out with the results of the how many people got laid off last month? He fired her from the Federal Reserve, remember that? Every time somebody goes against him or he sees an opportunity, I mean, think of it like this. In the Federal Reserve, it has leaked out allegedly that he wants to get rid of the Federal Reserve guy, Jerome Powell. That's a power grab. He's taking over D.C. policing. That's a power grab. Now he's going with another tentacle, the voting. It's a power grab. It is Julius Caesar. It is Napoleon. I want y'all to see it for what it is.
Trump can even just use an executive order to end mail-in voting. What does all this mean?
Well, he can't use an executive order to end mail-in voting. I mean, first of all, the states generally oversee their own elections, and they're not bound by executive orders, and really no one is bound by any executive order because that's what, we have laws made in Congress and so forth. I mean, what's interesting about this is that the Republicans spent a great deal of effort in 2024 trying to get their voters to, in fact, vote by mail after Trump did so much to really poison the waters around voting by mail in the last election in 2020. This is something I guarantee you when he's talking like this, as he has been recently, state officials, Republican candidates, and so forth are just cringing because this is the kind of thing that could work pretty seriously against Republican candidates if, in fact, Republican voters think that they shouldn't be voting by mail, and lo and behold, they don't vote in person either, and it costs Republican candidates. So this is definitely something we've seen before, and it didn't end well for Republicans, and I'm sort of puzzled as to why Trump...
So if it didn't end well for Republicans, and we're talking recent voting history, could it possibly be that by suggesting this and then it not work, that the voting system is archaic, that we should just have a king, thus my British accent. Hello, of old, the old way they used to do it, just have a king. Now let's look at some stuff right here. Fact check, Trump's claim the U.S. is the only country that uses mail-in voting. And put in the comment section if you know a little bit about this. President Donald Trump vowed to take action against voting by mail, which he said makes the United States an outlier. We, quote, we are now the only country in the world that uses mail-in voting, unquote, Trump wrote in the Truth Social. His post echoed grievances about mail-in voting he had aired days earlier in his interview with Fox, Sean Hannity, after meeting with, you know who, Mr. Vladimir, on August 15th in Alaska. Yeah, see, Trump went to Alaska, his ears got cold. Trump told Hannity that Putin said the 2020, I'm not gonna get into that, I can't get into that. Hours after his post, Trump slightly softened his language during the White House meeting. People, you can kind of read between the lines here. He met with somebody and now he got this idea. Is that what's going on here? Data complied by a Sweden-based organization that advocates for democracy globally, found in October 2024, report found that 34 countries, 34 or territories allow mail-in voting, which it refers to as postal voting. The International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance found that of the 34 countries or territories, 12 allow all votes to be mailed and in 22 permit only some votes to vote this way. So Trump did say, well, unless I'm mistaken, yeah, well, he was mistaken. To come out with a paintbrush position like this and to not know what the hell you're talking about, that's a problem. Then he says Trump, okay, then this came out, Trump wrongly says Jimmy Carter said, don't ever use mail ballots. Trump was referring to the 2005 Carter-Baker report, which called for further study of fraud on absentee ballots and for security protocols. Now, this is November 7, 2022. So Trump been talking this crap for a while. Former President Donald Trump, who has long spread falsehoods about mail ballots, recently distorted what former President Jimmy Carter said about voting by mail, which Trump does a lot, misquote folks, right? During an October 31st interview on Sebastian Gorka's podcast, Trump said, quote, 2020 was a really bad period because they used so many of the mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots by very nature, even Jimmy Carter said, don't ever use them. That will be corrupt. They can be so easily corrupted. People, I don't know what you think. I'm doing these videos, trying to have a little fun, but this is serious and this is wicked. Like I've said in other videos, I believe Trump is a setup man. He's a setup man for the next stage. America's going into this golden age, and politics will play a key role. If you limit the options, think about the rural areas, the farmland. You got to come out and vote. There aren't voting booths and stuff like that in those areas, so they rely on that type of stuff. What about early voting? People who do business. Come on, man. How about the handicapped? How about the senior citizens? And how about those who just want to exercise their right to do it a different way? Your Highness wants to come in and check it out, change things. So let me see which one I want to play again. Which one do I want to play? Do I want to play the Highness or the other one? Let's play this one. Voting because it's corrupt, and I've never had the satisfaction of employing that type of strategy. The Democratic Party, they are very corrupt themselves, and this is the only way that they can win So I am going to, as I speak, I'm exercising my authority as the President of the United States to create an executive order dismantling this fiendish program. Forget about these senior citizens and those in the rural counties. I guess they can just walk there and place their ballot the legitimate way. Well, of course, I added that last maybe 20 seconds in there, but that's what's going to happen. I said, it's a power grab on a lot of fronts. It's a power grab. And when he gets through augmenting, changing, converting, God knows how many executive orders he's made since the day he walked up in there. Let me show you what I think this is all about. Barack Obama 2017 with Trump. Barack Obama and Trump outside of the White House, Tiffany blue box. This is what it's always been about to me. Reserving the power for the Antichrist. This is what this moment to me has always been about. Red and black, her and Obama. To me, that's signifying sacrifice and destruction. Those are the colors. It don't mean those colors are bad. Melania's gone to Tiffany blue. Or powder blue, whatever, but that's Phoenician. But this is definitely Phoenician here. I've said it before, it took me a few years to put it together, but I finally put it together. The Tiffany blue box represents the Phoenicians. Their favorite color was purple. Their secondary color was Tiffany blue. When you have a housewarming, you get the gift. Trump's going into the White House. Obama should have gave him the gift. But the new King of Kings and Lord of Lords are them. So he's saying symbolically, allegedly, in my humble opinion, I'm gonna hold down this thing until you get back. And when I get there, not just this time in 2017, but when I get back, I'm gonna pass enough policies, enough executive orders, change enough, you're gonna walk right into exactly what the whole Egyptians and the historical powers of the past, like Julius Caesar had. I'm gonna give you the golden age, buddy. Just hang on. Just hang on.